Um, Hi. I haven't gotten around to making a new cover art for season 3 or if you tuned in last season, um what am I saying? If you tuned in last season, you saw that there was an intro video. Um just trying to close out all my See, I'm unprepared. Super unprepared, but here, let me, gosh dang it. Closing out of The Sims, closing out of my 10,000 tabs that I have open. Um, One of these days I'll get my shit together. The Sims. That's what I do in my free time. But, anyways, I'm struggling today. And that is an understatement. I have not felt this way probably since a couple Fridays ago. I hope you can hear me okay. I still haven't set up my mic. Today I'm going to be talking about how court went a couple Fridays ago, and maybe this is me putting too much out there, but I I wanted to be able to spin it in a way that it's going to be positive for me, and maybe I can look back and be like, "Oh, I felt like absolute no good back then." And I just want some good to come from it. Because I was really in my feels today, and what can I say? So these questions are written directly about me and my 9-year-old daughter, my struggles with my anger, my borderline personality, and the reality of court. It says they're designed so I can speak honestly, safely, and powerfully without glamorizing harm or minimizing the seriousness of what I'm working through. And like the caption says, I in no way am, I don't blame the judge. There's no hard feelings. Once I get into this, you'll see. Actually, I didn't read over these questions, so they're just as new to me as they are to you. But, so I'm Wanda. Hi. Um, What did the court hearing reveal to you about where you... Oh, I don't have Kleenex, but I have this dirty rag, and excuse me if I pull it out. Because these are some tough questions. Okay. What did the court hearing reveal to you about where you truly are in your healing journey? What did the court reveal to you about where you truly are in your healing journey? I go back and forth all the time. It, mental health is such a tricky thing because you feel like you're on top of things, and then something comes and pulls you from out underneath your feet. And then I go back to healing isn't linear. It just revealed to me that I still, as much fucking work as I've done, I still have a long way to go. I've, you know, I've worked through self-harm. I've worked through low self-esteem. I'm still working through low self-esteem. I've worked on the ways I show up in my daily life for my friends and who I call family. And I've worked on my sobriety. But the one thing that keeps following me year after year, day after day, hour after hour is my anger. I think I have a hold of it, and then all of a sudden, bam, something will come up, and I'll be like, "Damn, Wanda, why did you do that? You know damn well that you have no business doing this thing." And so it just revealed to me that I still, as much work as I do, I still have a long way to go, unfortunately. But fortunately, I don't know, whatever. These questions are hard. How did you feel walking out of that courtroom knowing the decision affected your time with Violet? I mean, they decided that I wasn't in a good enough place to have more time with my daughter like I wanted to. And I felt, I walked in there and there was different feelings that led up to that court date. I felt like at first I expected the worst, and then I had this community of people that I myself, and thank you, Karina, I myself have built along with this, all these people from all over. It was never, well, it was. I created it to be a safe space for people to come without judgment, to, be able to bring themselves as they are. And that community came together and they prayed for me. They rooted me on. They helped me, like Karina, helped me practice questions that I thought the judge would ask. And they helped me get more comfortable with those questions, with the reality of those questions, and with the reality, whether it be that I wouldn't be approved for more parenting time, or that I would be not allowed more parenting time. So, but at the same time, when I left that courtroom, I left early. I didn't know, but I left kind of early. They were like, all rise, and then you're supposed to wait for the judge to walk out of the room. I couldn't hold it together. I was like, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I was literally like hyperventilating, just trying to get those words out that I wanted to get out, that I thought needed to be got out. And fortunately, none of those words were out of anger. None of them were in anger. But yeah. But I felt really defeated, like, again, because this has been like she's 9 now, and I lost her when she was 2, and this has been like 7 years, like a 7-year journey just to be more in her life. And so I felt really defeated, and I was angry. I didn't show anybody, but I was angry. And then I went to the car, and then I had my mental health field agent with me, and he really helped snap me out of, like, because to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real honest. There was some things said that, and people can turn this whatever way they want, but I know me, I know my heart. I was angry for a little bit with my daughter, because I was told that, this is hard. She went back to her grandma and said things like, I heard mommy say this, or that's basically what it was. I heard mommy say this. And art helped me reframe those thoughts, like, either it could be her grandma is manipulating the situation, or, I myself came to the realization, like, maybe she really was scared of what I said. And that was like a harsh reality, because I didn't want to be mad at her, but for a minute I was. But I would never, and I've never brought it up with her, and I don't plan to. I plan on working it out in therapy, like, for anger management through therapy. It's we do role playing. My therapist will pretend to be somebody that I need to have a conversation with, and you know, that I need to practice. And so yeah, that might have been a little too many details, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt. Art helped reel me back into, you don't mean that. You still want a relationship with your daughter. And because for a second there, I was like, she doesn't need me anymore. She'll be better without me and things like that. And that was really just the plain honest truth of how I felt. Like, she does not need me anymore. She'll be better off without me. And not as I wanted to, like, myself, but like, I don't need to try and do this anymore. I don't need to try and pursue trying to have a relationship with her anymore, because I just felt defeated. Anywho, what part of the court's reaction to your anger and probation felt the hardest to accept, and why? Just, I felt like they think that I'm just this monster, and that everything sets me off, and I just feel like my anger was magnified. But also, if I want to grow and be honest with myself and be better, it's like putting up a mirror. Like, maybe it felt magnified to me, but maybe it was a mirror as well. Like, maybe it was a magnifying mirror that, this is where you're at. This is what happened 6 weeks ago. You're still not fully healed the way you need to be healed. You may have been somewhat just in how you reacted, but it's not acceptable in society. So you still have a long way to go, my dear. And that, I just felt very embarrassed, very, like I said, defeated. How has anger shown up in my life, and how did it show up in court that day? Well, she took a step back and she stayed at home, thank God, that day in court. But how has it shown in my life? I realized through role playing with my therapist that I don't want people to see me sad, so I react out of anger. That's just the plain truth. I don't want people to see me sad, because I don't want them to see me weak, and because I feel naked, I feel vulnerable, and I don't want that. But I think we all need to feel that way sometimes. Like, and if you're going through things, I highly, 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 and it doesn't work for everybody, recommend a therapist that really works with you in all aspects of your life. So just anger is showing up for me time and time again. It's almost like it's like a safety blanket, because I think it will keep me safe, and really it's been the opposite of keeping me safe. It's brought me down alleys and valleys that I don't want to be in. How does living with borderline personality disorder affect your emotions, reactions, and parenting? The way it affects my emotions is I always feel like people think I'm being dramatic, when that's why I dance a fine line of trying to bring awareness and also like taking accountability, but the truth is, like, anger feels like I could almost really, really hurt somebody. Sadness feels like I'm dying inside. Happiness feels like I could take on the world. Just everything feels very intensified. That's how it affects my emotions. My reactions, I try I try really hard not to react. I try and think about when I'm in wise mind, I try really hard to think about how I'm reacting before I react, because a lot of the times in my past I've just instantly reacted out of, emotional turmoil. Um and So I try not to let it show up in my reactions. Um how does it how does borderline personality affect my parenting? Well, it feels like there's a magnifying glass always on me because people are waiting for me to get angry. It almost feels like there it sometimes feels like there's people out there that are waiting for my downfall. Um, so I definitely feel under a magnifying glass because I have borderline personality disorder in my parenting. Um, and also, a thing that I think is important that needs to be just addressed or brought up or acknowledged is that it's extremely emotionally exhausting to parent, be overstimulated, and then just be so emotionally like exhausted you feel like you can't you have to take a break. I think that you just have to be forgiving with yourself and realize that you need to take a break when all that, otherwise it'll drive you to the point where you may get angry. um you just have to, find a balance of being a present parent and also taking time for you to self-care, taking breaks. If even if that looks like sometimes giving the kids the tablet, or I like to give Atlas water sensory. Like, I'll fill a little pool for him and then put little people in there. And then he plays with that by himself really well. He'll play with the magnetic tiles by himself really well, like when I need a break. And I try and be open with my son when I do need a break. I try. I try because he's just so excited. He just wants me to see everything. And he's, Mom, hide and seek. Mom, watch me. Mom, wiggle dance. And I'm like, yes, yes. And because I didn't have somebody, I don't feel like I had somebody to share all that with when I was growing up. I sometimes overcompensate and push myself to the point where I am like burnt out and I can't come back from it. So, I just wanted to address that, and hope parents out there can find time for themselves to do self-care, because you can't pour from an empty glass. And some of these things are going to sound cliche because, well, that's why they're cliches, because they're right, they're real. What are you actively doing to manage your anger and emotional intensity so you can show up better for Violet? I am currently, I've taken a 12-hour anger management course online, and even though that, looks good on paper, there, I've sought out anger management in person within the community, and I can't find anything. I've checked Bay Mills, I've checked like what is that? The recovery house, like where you go when you have substance abuse. I don't struggle with substance abuse, but I thought that they might offer an anger management course. And I could not find anything in person, but I feel like I would really benefit from something in person. Because online was basically kind of stuff you already hear, but that is where I got the idea for role playing with my therapist, like her pretending to be so and so, and I'm me, and we're having that conversation. And that's also how it was revealed to me that I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen for, I don't want people to reject me. So I show up angry. I don't want people to see me sad. I don't want people to leave me. I don't want people to reject me. And also anger journaling, which I don't do without my therapist because it's just so, I haven't learned to yet without my therapist, I'll say, because it's just so uncomfortable to be alone with your feelings and your thoughts sometimes because they're just so intense and I'm fucking ashamed of some of them, you know? So, and then I've asked my therapist to seek out more exercises that, you know, we could do for anger management. Because I think that they're out there and I've never thoroughly done anger management. And if I have, like, I don't remember it. I think it's going to be a constant maintenance thing for me to do that because I struggle with it so much. Yeah. What does parenting time with Violet mean to you? Oh God. This question is it's gonna break me. What does parenting time with Violet mean to you, and how did the court setback affect that? I'm gonna start to glitch out. Maybe not. Parenting time with Violet means bonding with her, getting to know who she is as a person, having her get to know me, and having her bond with her brother. It just means, it means the world to me. And I know I'm going to start glitching out, and I apologize, but from what I've heard, you can still hear my voice. So if you feel like staying tuned, then, you know, stay tuned. So it just means a lot to me. It just means the world. It just means showing up for her as a parent, as a mom, because I didn't always have that, because, you know, my mom struggled with her own mental health, and, you know, we lived in separate states, and just, it also means breaking generational curses. So, what emotional patterns do you refuse to pass down to Violet as her mom? I really don't want her to self-harm or be an angry or lonely child. I want her to know that she has people that love her, and she does. She knows that she has her grandma. She knows that she has me. She has her brother. You know, I just want her to know that feelings are okay, even if they're not good feelings. Like, there's ways to deal with them better than I've dealt with them. I remember one time she was upset about something, and I was like, run really fast back and forth and I'll time you. And she did that, and she got out her anger, and I was so proud of her. And yeah, so I just want to pass down all the good things to her, all the knowledge. Okay, I have about a handful of questions left, and then I will wrap up. We've been here for about an hour? I don't know. How are you guys doing? Are you guys okay? I'm sorry for, actually, I'm not sorry, because I really am trying to spin this in a positive light, and I hope this helps anybody who's struggling with their past, and just feels judged by their past. Who is the version of Wanda you want Violet to see 6 months from now? I just want her to see me as, I just want her to see me as mom that can be patient and can be forgiving to those who might throw me through the mud. I don't want her to see me for anything less than I am. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Tears are good. I just want her to see the best version of mom that she can have. One that's able to see her anytime she wants, one that can drive to her anytime she wants, one that can show up to her birthday party because she's allowed to. Why does court feel like a turning point instead of just a failure? Because it has to be. Because it has to be. Because I can't miss I can't miss out on any more time with Violet. What parts of your behavior, anger, reaction, choices are you taking responsibility for today? You know, might as well go big or go home. I take responsibility for I do take accountability for my anger, my reactions, my choices. I obviously still need a lot of work and but who doesn't? The thing that would help me most is for people to be encouraging of that and not want to see my downfall. But I realize that that may never happen. And so I just have to navigate around that. What concrete steps are you taking now to stabilize your emotions and rebuild your trust? Um, I make sure to take my meds every morning and every night. I make sure that um, uh-oh. That was anticlimactic. But maybe I needed it. I needed a little refresher. We've got maybe like 4 more questions left because that's all I've got in me. What concrete steps are you taking now to stabilize your emotions and rebuild your trust? I'm making sure to take my meds every morning and every night. I make sure to show up to my therapy sessions, and from a suggestion of Art, I now show up in person to those therapy sessions. Before I was just doing it over Zoom because I don't have a vehicle and it was just more convenient, but I'm putting in the damn work. I am putting in the work because I guess in person has proven to be healthier for me because apparently I need to cry sometimes, and my therapist gets paid to watch me do that. So what do you want listeners to understand about anger, BPD, and trying to be a better parent while healing? I want you to understand that I don't know what people think when I say I have borderline personality disorder. I don't know if they're confused. I don't know if they've got a stigma. I don't know if they're scared. I just don't know what they feel. But I want people to know that I'm just trying to be a regular girl. I'm trying to do the things that, neurotypical people, I think it's neurotypical. That's the normal one, right? I try and be as neurotypical and accepting of others as I can be. I also want people to know I don't want to I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to have to go through these things, and I try to do everything I can to not go through these things. That's really what I want people to know most, is that I don't want to feel these things. I don't want to be angry. How do I stay hopeful even when my healing isn't perfect or linear? I don't know. I just have this feeling that as you get older, as you near death, that just as you get older, that life is supposed to keep getting better and better. Like, why go backwards? Like, if you can change something about yourself and do shadow work and, improve yourself, why wouldn't you want to? If it's possible, why wouldn't you want to? And also my kids. I know that my kids need me. I know that they love me because they're happy whenever they see me. And having that idea in my mind where we can all one day be together as like a happy family, all of us together at the same time without any restrictions, like having that idea in my mind keeps me hopeful. 2 more questions. What would you tell someone who feels judged by their past but wants to change? Just that you don't have to repeat the same things. Like, if you have strong support, if you have people in your life that love you, grasp onto that. Like, grasp onto anything any suggestions, any teachings that you can find to make yourself better, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, if you're not putting in the work, then it's not going to change. But it's possible. And the last question is, if Violet listens to this someday, what do you want her to hear about your love? Your love, your effort, and your growth. Violet, I just love you. Like, you're my firstborn. I love you more than anything in the world. And I'm really trying. There's never been a moment in my life where I didn't want you and I didn't want to be closer to you. And I hope you know that. And I hope you know that you're still my daughter. I just don't. Yeah, you're still my daughter, and I hope you feel like I'm still your mom. And just, it has taken me a lot to swallow at times where I feel like people are just waiting for my downfall, and I feel just in the way that I feel, but I can't act on those feelings. So I just hope you realize that when you're older. And I love you so much. And thank you guys for listening. I hope that wasn't trauma dumping. I hope something positive came from all that, because that was not easy. And I'll still have people say, oh, she just wants to spin it her way, and well, I just want something positive to come from it. I want people to learn from, my pain. So thank you for listening, and I will see you guys next time.